Okay, so the really fast summary of what's going on here is that you have a high pressure system over the Pacific that turns clockwise. You have the low pressure Hurricane Ida over Louisiana that turns counterclockwise, right? These are the two big systems, and everything else is kind of caught in the middle. You have like this high over Mexico, which is good weather that heats up, creates high pressure, and it kind of bubbles up. And what we really need is for there to be like a high pressure system sitting over Nevada. And this is kind of not really one. It's like a little bit of starting to form one. And so you can see as we kind of move through the week here, right, notice how these highs keep forming over Mexico, but then like not really bubbling up towards us. You have like scattered lows and bullshit that keeps bouncing around over Nevada and never really comes to fruition. Well, you've got the storm moving up the east coast and the high pressure moving down the west coast. And so nothing really comes to being over the western United States, like particularly over Nevada. And that's kind of been the case for the last week, at least since I've been paying attention to it. And what it means is that we have this local stuff. And as we have these sort of local low pressure systems bounce around, right, sometimes we get a low that comes in and creates some suction and pulls the smoke this way. And sometimes, like on Friday, it switched to the opposite. And this is going to happen again on this Friday, right? Where there's like a little high pressure system way far away over here over Colorado. And so like there's really nothing over us in Nevada, and you have this sort of local heating effect where things pour back into the Sacramento Valley, which is away from us. And so like there's no big systems that are going to come through and blow out the smoke, which is good because that also makes the fires worse, right? It's helpful for the fire containment teams, right? But not like amazing news for us or horrible news for us. Basically, it's going to be the same as it was for the last month, which is to say pretty mediocre. And so you can see that on the satellite map. So this is today, this is 2 hours ago. You can see that like we have this low pressure system over here on the right that you can't see, but it's pulling the smoke. And it's pulling it really clearly from the Dixie Fire over this way. But we can go back a couple of days and you can see like there it is. This is what it looked like when it was pouring down into the Sacramento Valley on Friday. So this is what it's going to look like on this Friday again as we get that high pressure system that breaks off from Mexico. And so it's really like neither of these systems are too strong because we're caught. We really don't have a system actually. We're caught in the middle of two other systems, and so we're kind of just getting like fluky nothingness. And it's really just a function of does the smoke pour down the Sacramento Valley, or does it go like today and switch directions, right, and pour over on top of us out here in Burning Man. And so it's interesting that the Caldor fire is the one that's getting most of the news press right now because it's really messing up Tahoe, but it actually seems like it's the Dixie Fire that's giving us most of the smoke, because when there isn't a low over here that's pulling the smoke to the west, then sort of like this is when we were getting some smoke at Burning Man from the Caldor fire, but it really was just because it was switching from blowing west to east. And this would be what it would look like on a normal west day, where you can see it's pouring into downhill, right, into the delta as you'd expect with out any strong prevailing winds, right? So basically, we're in the middle of this swirl, and it's just a matter of does it swirl left or does it swirl right? And the fact that there isn't huge wind is helpful for the fire crews. And it looks like, so running through it day by day, right? So Wednesday, so let's start with today. Today we have this low, right? We saw how this is giving us suction from the Caldor fire, right, or the Dixie Fire right here, right over us in Burning Man. That sucks, right? So then tomorrow, the low kind of goes away, right, which is cool. We still have like a little bit of suction of wind moving this way, and so it will still be crappy. It won't blow out. So tomorrow I don't expect it to get worse, but I don't expect it to get better. And in fact, maybe you have a little bit blowing up from Caldor. Wednesday is looking more promising though, right? So it looks like it's going to kind of hang around. Like we have this high that just broke off from Mexico coming up in a bubble, and it's going to kind of save us a little bit, which would be kind of cool. So this will be when we arrive, right? So I don't expect it to be like super clear like it was the other day on Friday, but it won't be worse because it's not going to be blowing new smoke in. It'll just be stable, right? And so maybe it will dissipate out and get a little bit better. Thursday, not cool. We've got this low. Where did that even come from? Yeah, so it was down here over Los Angeles, and it kind of like bumped around and solidified a little bit, and now we're back to suction. So Thursday, I expect it to look like today. Friday, we're back to stable, so it could be okay again on Friday. They could go back to this natural pouring down into the Sacramento Valley. Depends on how fast it dissipates it. Saturday, that's looking nice to me. This, like if we have one day of Friday where it's pushing away, and look at this, we even have like a little bit of natural pouring down here as things start to get sucked up towards this low over Oregon. So Saturday could be a nice day. And then Sunday, same deal, really like nothing forming here. So yeah, we just sort of are bouncing between these two things, and it's a question of which way it goes. Obviously, it really looks like it could go either way, and it's sort of a function of like how fast the last day dissipates to give us a good day before. But it will be interesting to see. Overall, I would say expect it to be the same way it's been for the last month. Bouncing between 75 and 175. If you're betting on that, you're probably going to make money.